Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things
He
to
uses
eat.
it's like Halloween based because it's based on like 70s vampire films.
Really?
Is it rolling right now?
Yes, it is.
It's rolling, and it's really good because you can hear like the sound effects that from like Friday the 13th.
Oh, really?
He uses like weird stuff like that.
I gotta check that out,
Yeah,
dude.
Clipping, good stuff.
Good
Nothing
stuff.
is safe.
Welcome,
Welcome.
everybody. I did clip a little bit. Speaking of clipping, when I said welcome, because I was really close to the mic. It's okay. So sorry for the headphone users. What's going on, T-Kettle? I'm Nico.
I'm T-Kettle.
And what's going on?
Not much. Today's a special day for me, at least.
What's your special day?
Today's my birthday.
Happy birthday,
Hey.
T-Kettle! Hey! Oh wow, we really clipped there. Let's do that again. Happy birthday, T-Kettle!
Hey! Yeah, I'm 27 years old today.
27. You're an old fart, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you need a cane?
Yeah, give me one. Scrooge McDuck.
Oh my
Over
gosh,
here.
dude. Hold up. Let me refresh on my CPR over here, just in case. Oh, that's crazy, dude. What are you doing for your birthday? You got to do something nice.
I don't know. Eat good food.
I knew your birthday was coming up. I just didn't know it was today.
Yeah, it's today.
Yeah, because you mentioned it, and I asked you, I'm like, what are you doing? You're like, none.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Oh.
You got to do something, man.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Maybe we should get the Lit Boys together. You want to hang out with the Lit Boys today? We'll discuss it.
We'll discuss
We'll
it.
discuss it. So what's going on, T-Kets?
That's pretty much it. What's going on with you?
You know, I've been thinking a lot about Star Wars lately.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Here's the thing. Okay, so as you know, Star Wars is on Disney Plus, all of them except Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I don't know why YouTube's algorithm does this, but every time I mention Star Wars or I even talk about Star Wars, I get inundated with recommends about Star Wars videos in my YouTube feed.
I feel like everyone
constantly.
just does.
I
It's
know,
so
right?
popular.
It's crazy though, but like for me, it's like just Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. It's crazy. Every other fucking video that I see is like how Rian Johnson ruined The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi is a cinematic like travesty. Like, oh, The Last Jedi is abysmal. Last Jedi sucks. Blah blah. Ruin Johnson. Blah 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 blah.
Canceled.
Blah 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 blah. Knives Out sucks. Knives Out sucks. And that's another thing too. People are hating on Knives Out not because of legitimate criticisms about the movie, but because like if you watch Jeremy John's review, I don't mean to call him out, but and I could be wrong, but if you watch it, he comes across as like an angry Star Wars fan. In that he's like, Rian Johnson isn't as clever as he thinks he is. Rian Johnson this, and I'm like, even people in the comments were like, did you really hate Knives Out, or are you just trying? Do you have this grudge against Johnson?
Yeah, he might be upset.
Yeah, because you know he hates The Last Jedi. He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
And which really sucks because I always thought Jeremy Johnson was kind of above that sort of thing, but nah. Anyway, I was thinking about The Last Jedi, which honestly to me isn't even like a bad movie. I think it's like a pretty decent movie. But even if you don't like it, people act like it's fucking Battlefield Earth or something. Like they thought they watched like Force Awakens, which was pretty much universally liked for the most part,
Yeah.
and then the fucking thing that came after it was Battlefield Earth. Like that's how they act. But that's not true at all. You know?
I mean, I get it to an extent. I don't like that people knock it for like being different or whatever, but it does have some like weird, like it's executed really weird.
There are some weird moments in the movie.
Some fucking weird moments.
And it doesn't necessarily progress the story of the characters that Force Awakens set up. But one thing it does do, and I like, is and I know it's kind of become a meme at this point. People make fun of other people for saying this, but it's true, is like Rian Johnson plays with your expectations. Mm-hmm. I actually just saw Brick, believe it or not, 2 days ago for the first time. Loved it.
Yeah.
That was really good. And then Knives Out, which we'll talk about later, he kind of does that. He likes to take formulas and like flip them. He likes to take ideas and kind of play against the trope of them. I know with Knives Out, I can see why Knives Out didn't work for you.
Yeah.
But with Star Wars, I feel like it kind of worked. I was like, that's a cool idea.
See, I feel like with that movie in particular, the avenues are the same. It's just the road that they take is a little more complicated.
You mean Last Jedi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it arrives at the same solution or like the same stop that Empire Strikes Back stops at. It's just
it's just done a little differently.
Yeah.
I thought a a lot of the backlash, I think, too, because I've been looking a lot of this up just because YouTube has been throwing it in my face. A lot of it is like, a lot of it comes down to a lot of fans had a lot of theories in their heads that they came up with, and they stuck to it for years, for like a year. They're like, oh, Snoke is Darth Plagueis, Snoke is Mace Windu, Snoke is the reincarnation of the Emperor, Snoke is this, Rey's parents, she's an Obi-Wan, no, she's a Skywalker, she's this, she's that. I think people got so attached to their own theories that when the only thing Rian Johnson could really do was be like, I'm going to take all these theories and do my own thing, I think that really pissed a lot of people off too.
Yeah, but they're totally going to redact that.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
100%. If it was up to Rian Johnson, he would have kept it that way, but I really think Disney, J.J. Abrams are going to go back on that and be like, no, she is like a Skywalker or something like that. But, I don't know. I really liked Rian Johnson's idea that anyone can be a Jedi. I even said that, too, when people were like, who's Rey? Like, my friend who loves Star Wars, he's like, dude, she's totally Obi-Wan's granddaughter.
There can't just be two Jedi using names in the entire world.
Exactly.
Like, for the rest of time. That's lame.
And it's like, and what are the freaking odds of that the person who's roped into this whole thing, like I know the Force people can be like the
chosen one
is like the chosen one again for the second time. I was just like, oh my gosh, like my friend was like, she's Obi-Wan's granddaughter, dude, and I'm like, what if she's just like a person? That's honestly what I want. And I told him that. I'm like, I want her to just be like a person, just a random person. And then when Rian Johnson did that, I was like, damn, he actually did it. Like that took balls.
Yeah.
So I really like The Last Jedi, but there are problems with it. And the reason I bring all this up, T-Kettle, is because I started rewatching some Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I have to ask the question, is Star Wars even good? Is Star Wars even good as a whole? Is Star Wars even good?
It's like it's
fine. Look at its track record for a second. The track record
it's serviceable.
Almost the track record does not, in my opinion, match the fan base that it has.
It's because the most important ones came out first.
Exactly.
And that's really all that matters.
And my sorry, my throat is. I'm gonna take a little sip.
Slurp. Good question, though.
Yeah, let's start with the prequels. I know the prequels have its defenders, and there are people who like it. And if you like the prequels, more power to you.
Yeah, I think they like the politics of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in it.
Which is weird, because the original trilogy didn't have a lot of that. So if you like them, that's fine. But to me, dude, they're bad. Like, to me. I think they're pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like, they're bad movies.
I'm not a fan of them either.
And they're extremely dated. They're dated more than the original trilogy because there's so much CG. And you know me, I'm not a guy who hates CG, but there's so much pointless CG. How come all the clone troopers are CG? What was the point of that? That doesn't make sense to me. Mm-hmm. Like, they didn't make one clone trooper outfit for the second movie, and I'm like, why? Most of the CGI in the prequels look like PS2 graphics. And I know that's what a lot of people say when they criticize CG, but I mean that literally for the prequels. They literally look like PS2 graphics. And I understand that that's what's needed in order to advance the technology, but it's extremely dated. Half the environments aren't real, and it's just really strange. Hayden Christensen's performance is like really not great.
But I think everybody agrees with that. But
yeah.
I think that these movies kind of made people realize it's way better to shoot on location. Like, they tried to, like, make everything artificial for so long, and then I think we're finally getting that resurgence back of, like, going out and, like, exploring new places.
Exactly, and you can use CG I know The Phantom Menace was the first movie ever to use CG for locations, like, for backdrops.
Yeah.
Which is great, but they overdid it. Like, they didn't build, like, a single set. It was all green screen, and I'm like, it just didn't work, and... Not to I'm not trying to review every movie here to digress from the whole topic, but it's like I think a lot of people are starting to really like the prequels now because I don't know why. I think there's this weird thing with Disney haters right now. Disney has like a lot of haters right now. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. It's because they're this big company who tries to market things like. Have you seen Mandalorian at all?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm caught up.
Okay, so so I'm going to mention Baby Yoda. So a lot of people, like, everyone loves Baby Yoda and all that, but a lot of people, Baby Yoda has a lot of haters. They're like, it's just a ploy by Disney to sell merchandise off of Baby Yoda and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, no shit, dude.
Yeah.
Disney's been doing this for 70 fucking years, and you're mad about it now?
I'm so glad that they used like the puppet. Like.
Oh yeah, that's great. I do love that.
I heard that was Werner Herzog's idea.
It was.
Yeah.
It was because they were going to CG him, and he's like, "Don't do it,
He's
cowards."
like, cowards.
Yeah,
Yes!
exactly. Yeah, so good, so good. But yeah, it's like, yeah, no shit. They're trying to sell merchandise, dude. They're Disney. They've been doing this shit for 100 years.
I don't even think it's like, I think it goes beyond
Good
that.
for
though.
them.
Like, I mean, obviously you're gonna sell merchandise with that stuff. That just kind of comes with the territory. But I think that show needs it because there's so much empty space in it. Besides that, and like, Baby Yoda shows that there's something worth fighting for.
And it was also really cool too. They're actually. They're behind on merchandise because they didn't make any merchandise until the show came out because they didn't want to spoil it.
Yeah, which I'm so glad that they didn't. They never showed Baby Yoda in the trailers.
They never did. Yeah, so that's very rare nowadays to have something like that. And now everyone's trying to like find Baby Yoda for the holidays, but Disney, I think they said like the first like official Baby Yoda merch is gonna come out like of March of like 2020. So wow. It's gonna be a while. So that's a bold thing. Like I was listening to the radio yesterday, and they said Disney's gonna lose billions, like with a B, because they didn't do Baby Yoda merch for the holidays. And I'm like, wait, good for them at least. Maybe they care about story. But my point is like people are defending the prequels now because there's a lot of like Disney haters for some reason. Mm-hmm. When it's like the Disney Star Wars movies aren't even that bad in my opinion. I saw this comment on Stardust that's like, if Rise of Skywalker sucks, then I'm disowning the new trilogy and only 1 through 6 are canon. I'm like, 1 through 6? I'm like, 1 through 6? I'm sorry, have you seen those prequels? You're canon. It's like, if anything, you should have been pissed a long time ago. And that's when it really hit me. I'm like, is Star Wars even good? Because here's another thing, T-Kettle. Mm-hmm. My mom has never seen Star Wars.
Oh.
And now that we got Disney Plus, she wants to watch them. And I was thinking to myself, wait a second. So she wants to watch Star Wars for the first time. Is she even going to like it? Because the prequels are not good.
Yeah.
The original trilogy now is bogged down with all these special edition changes that make the film like much less enjoyable and much less watchable.
I hate those versions too.
They're
when
so bad.
Christensen shows up at the end as the ghost.
Oh,
and how is he supposed to even know who that is?
That doesn't make any sense. And that's honestly very disrespectful to the actor who played Anakin Skywalker in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
So disrespectful. And the guy who did Boba Fett's original voice, they replaced it with Tamara Morrison's voice. The CGI changes are terrible. The whole Greedo shot first thing. Like, dude, A New Hope, it sticks out like a sore thumb, and it's so weird, and it's so jarring. So now, my mom, who's a new Star Wars person who wants to watch Star Wars, is not even going to see the original movie. She's going to see these special edition crap fests. And now she's going to watch the prequels that are terrible just in general, in my opinion. And then by the time the new trilogy comes around, she's not even going to be interested.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Plus, how do you even watch them? If you're going to watch them in the order that they were released, you're like kind of blowing your load early, so to speak. Like,
yeah.
Like, then you have nothing to watch later. Like, you just got to sit through a bunch of garbage. But if you start at the beginning, maybe she's not even interested at all.
Exactly. That's the dilemma. It's like, do you want to start with the prequels? But then it's like... Then you're starting with 3 bad movies.
Yeah.
And then she's going to be like, why the fuck am I watching this? So you want to start with the good movies, but now the good movies aren't even good anymore because of all these changes.
You have a terrible, like, mid-section that you have to sit through.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, boy.
Dude, I'm telling you. And it's like, that's why when people trash on Disney's movies, it's like, first of all, Disney technically has only had 2 real Star Wars films and 2 spin-offs. And... Mm-hmm. The Force Awakens is just a really good movie to me. I love that movie. I know it's just kind of a retread of A New Hope, but it's really cool to see like a modernized New Hope.
Yeah, because we weren't around during that time to feel it happen for the first time, feel that spark.
Yeah.
We already knew everybody's name by the time we saw it. Like they're iconic.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We got to see it for the first time unfold with new faces, like actors that don't even have a reputation.
They were unknowns at the time.
Yeah, and you're building them from the ground up.
And it was really cool seeing like this new series is all about passing of the torch. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people seem to forget that. It's like, how come we didn't get to see Han, Leia, and Luke together? And it's like, because this new series isn't about them. It's not about them. It's about passing the torch to these new guys. That's what this entire series is about, whilst wrapping up the loose ends of the original trilogy, if there's even loose ends, but more so like, yes, we're going to acknowledge them, but it's not about them. Rey is the main character of these movies, guys.
Yeah.
That's the truth. And I think a lot of people are just hating on Star Wars now, but it's like, is Star Wars even worth celebrating? Because, like, think about it, man. We've talked about this before. The Star Wars fans are incredibly toxic. They're the most toxic fandom out there. And it sucks. They almost made me hate Star Wars. Like, just out of spite for these people. I'm like, you know what? But then I'm like, you know what? That's just like an unreasonable way to think. Because it's like, why am I going to let these people determine my enjoyment of a film? You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily think
you gotta ignore them, man.
I know, but it's like, oh my gosh, they're so... I don't know if it's because of the advent of the internet, but it's like, fuck, dude. It's like they become so annoying. And I say this as a Star Wars fan for the most part. I'm just like calm the fuck down. Like I've been enjoying Disney's movies. I really have. I really like Rogue One as well. I think that's the most different Star Wars film we've ever gotten. I think it emphasized the wars part of Star Wars, which I'm like, finally. Solo was a pretty average movie, but it's nothing that derailed anything, in my opinion. It wasn't like Battlefield Earth, where it's like it killed the franchise. And I think a lot of people take the behind the scenes of that movie and then just project it onto the actual movie. Yeah. They're like, oh, that movie sucks because they changed directors halfway through, and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But I think Disney's doing a good job. And I'm like, is Disney doing the best job out of...
I don't think they're doing the best job for Star Wars. Honestly, I think they're doing a disservice to Star Wars, but they're killing it with Marvel.
They are killing it with Marvel. Why do you think they're doing a disservice to Star Wars?
I think they just don't know what direction to take with it. They're building upon the past while also looking forward, and I just don't think it's really necessary to build upon the past. Like, let things lie, I guess. Let things die.
As Kylo Ren said in The Last Jedi.
Yes.
That's what I want too, dude. But...
Yeah, I'm tired of seeing the same old shit. I just want to see something new, and
that's what I think Last Jedi did, though. I thought it gave us something new, and I enjoyed it.
I want to see something completely different. I want to see them say, somebody come to them, share their script, and say, it's a Star Wars movie. It takes place on a Star Wars planet or whatever.
Completely
and then
different.
Just do like a fucking Blade Runner thing.
Yeah, no.
Or whatever. Just something completely different that we've never seen before. Like, do like a Logan's Run. I don't care. Like, if you have the Star Wars name attached to you, you have unlimited resources.
Unlimited, yeah. But they keep going back to...
They keep telling the same
Skywalker
story
saga.
about the... And it's like kind of like default archetypes of like fantasy characters. And I want to see something different. I want to see something... even more bold than The Last Jedi. I think like they have the Skywalker saga, which is 1 through 9, and then the spin-offs, and like then after that I think they're gonna do what you're saying. I think after that they're gonna go in a completely new direction. Yeah. In the Star Wars universe. Which will piss a ton of people off, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I want to see Skywalker saga. It's like, no, dude, we've had enough of that. I think the new trilogy, the Disney trilogy, I think it's good to call on the past. I think it's a balance, like, no pun intended, balance of the fullest.
Yes.
But like, I think it's a balance. Like, you do need some of the old with the new, but but I don't necessarily think that Disney films, and I'm only counting the 2 films because like a lot of people are saying they're oversaturated with Star Wars, but I'm not necessarily oversaturated because there's only been 2 like real films of it, and it's like 4 films technically, and I'm like, you know, I'm not necessarily bored, but
I kind of am.
But like, how come? And I asked you this before, but not on the podcast. So if you could re-explain for them, I asked you a while ago, how come people are oversaturated with Star Wars when there's only been 4 movies, but with Marvel people are like, give me more, but there's been 23 films?
I honestly don't even remember how I answered that question.
It was a while ago.
Yeah. Fuck. Now I feel like I have to like come up with an answer.
Come up with anything that comes to the top of your head, man.
I feel because Marvel's always moving forward.
Yeah.
They're always trying to expand upon something, and it kind of goes back to what I just said. Like, and it's always for Star Wars. It's like, move forward, go back, move forward, go back, and I just don't think. I don't think their head is in the right space.
Do you think they started the new trilogy with no end goal?
This new trilogy?
Yeah.
It kind of feels that way.
And they're just kind of making it up.
If they did, they would have just kept the same director on board the whole time.
True. Yeah, because they did have 3 directors at one point. It was J.J. Abrams, Rian Johnson, and Colin Trevorrow. Mm-hmm. And then Trevorrow left and J.J. Abrams came back.
Yeah.
So I think J.J. Abrams knew what he wanted to do.
Yeah, based on the material that he had seen or whatever.
Yes, but they, for some reason, I think they wanted to pull the Marvel formula, where they're like, let's bring in a new director every film.
But does Marvel really plan ahead either?
I think they do.
I think they might have an end goal, but do they know like every step that they're going to take?
Oh, probably
They're probably not. They're probably like approaching it like a TV show.
Right. They know where it's going to end up. Like they know like the Avengers are going to fight Thanos. How do we get there?
Yeah.
You know, and they do such a good job at balancing it. And I feel like Disney, they are still learning. I mean, they're bringing in new people now. Jon Favreau apparently is going to do some stuff in the Star Wars universe. Did you hear that Kevin Feige's coming to Star Wars?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really cool. But I don't feel like they've necessarily dropped the ball, to be honest with you. And if Star Wars did drop the ball, they dropped it a long time ago with those prequels, man. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, I rewatched episode 1 and I was like, what is this? Like, this is just not good. You know, and it's like, oh man, I don't know. And I'm like, is Star Wars even good? It's like, I don't want my mom to watch them now because she's not going to get the right experience because we got these McClunky changes in the original trilogy. Did you hear about that?
What?
McClunky?
No.
Oh my god, dude, it's become a meme
They're
now.
changing more stuff?
Yeah.
Jesus, they've already done it so many
times. No.
So
So George Lucas changed more stuff before selling it to Disney, and by contract they have to use it now.
Yes.
And so before the Disney Plus version of New Hope is different again. And one of the things is he changed the Greedo shot first scene.
I heard.
Again,
I did hear that. Yeah.
Where there's an insert shot now of him saying McClunky, and then he gets shot, and it's so stupid, and it's become like a meme. And people are like talking like, man, at least George Lucas had a vision. George Lucas should come back. George Lucas knew what he was doing. And I'm just like, my guy, don't get me wrong. I respect George Lucas. I respect the hell out of the guy. But, like, you are looking at the prequels through really thick rose-tinted glasses, my friend.
And you'd think that now that it's on Disney Plus and a lot of people have access to it, they would rewatch it. Mm-hmm. I think they're too scared to.
No, yeah, for sure. I think now that Disney owns both Fox and Lucasfilm, because Fox owned the original print rights to the original A New Hope before the special edition.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they should put the original versions on Disney Plus. There needs to be an original despecialized version, if you will.
That's never gonna happen.
I know. Apparently, there's a rumor that there's only one surviving print of the original.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and George Lucas has it, apparently.
Oh.
And, like, there's no way to get the original A New Hope without all these fucking changes. And it's so annoying. And, oh my gosh, dude. And another thing about George Lucas, don't get me wrong, I respect the guy, but people put him on this, like, crazy pedestal, and it's like, because all the Disney haters are like, George Lucas needs to come back, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, he directed A New Hope, and then the next two he didn't direct.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, but he put in story elements and co-wrote the scripts. Yeah, but I just watched on Disney Plus the making of the original trilogy. Mm-hmm. I think it's called like Forging an Empire or something like that. And Irvin Kershner and Richard Marquand had a lot more to do with Empire and Return of the Jedi than George Lucas did.
It kind of shows. It's a lot. It's a lot. I think those movies are a little bit more bold.
Yeah.
With their character arcs.
I know. And then, again, I like George Lucas, but it's like, he really tries to downplay Irvin Kershner and Richard Marquand's role in it. Like, in an interview, he's like, I think it was an interview with Charlie Rose, he's like, yeah, I directed episode 4, and episode 5 and 6 I didn't direct, but I was basically, I was there on set almost every day, so I basically directed the thing. I was telling everybody what to do. And I'm like, were you though? Were you? Because episodes 5 and 6 didn't necessarily seem like your movies. The only contributing factor he did to episode 6, not the only, but one of the biggest things apparently was the Ewoks. George Lucas wanted those. And then Richard Marquand was like, oh my god, fine. And he did it. So it's like... the Ewoks are definitely a George Lucasism as far as I'm concerned. And again, I respect him to shit. I respect him to, whatever. I love the guy, but it's like people are just hating on Disney, and I feel like they go back to this thing of like, oh, George Lucas was the best filmmaker for Star Wars, and I'm like, was he though? Was he?
Yeah.
I
think they just mean that era. Yeah.
I think
I would hope that they mean 4, 5, and 6.
That's what I hope.
And they just don't know that he didn't direct all 3 of them.
I don't even think people know that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Half the time.
Yeah, just see, for me, it goes in one ear, not the other, when it comes to these people. I mean, is Star Wars good? To me, like, the movies are not all that great, but it did forge an empire of of geekdom that no other thing could do. Like, not even Star Trek could. I mean, Star Trek was popular, but it was kind of like a niche thing.
Yeah.
And Star Wars over the decades popularized it. Everyone wears designer T-shirts of Star Wars, even moms. That's
true, and I feel like I have an immense respect for Star Wars, and I feel like a lot of the things that are tampering my enjoyment out of the movies are just outside factors, like the fans and the special edition changes. But overall, I do have a massive respect for Star Wars, and it's like, is Star Wars good? I've been struggling with that question, and I'm not going to answer that question here because I've been struggling with that question for a couple weeks now. I'm like, is it even good? Mm-hmm. Is it even good?
Yeah.
Would I be excited to rewatch the Star Wars movies? And it's like, the truth is, at first, for the original trilogy, I might be, but then the special edition changes would pop up, and I'd be like, okay, turn this off. Prequels, I wouldn't be excited for at all. And honestly, for the Disney films, I mean, we're not even done with them yet, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And, oh, man, I don't know. I've been having a crisis lately because before 2 weeks ago, I was like, oh yeah, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I'm a huge Star Wars nut, and I've been questioning that lately. I'm like, damn.
Don't let it get to your head. But I would rewatch them just for the sake of hey, where do I stand?
Yeah, it's true. I think we'll do a part 2 to this where I give you an update. I'm gonna rewatch the entire thing. I'm gonna watch all of it.
All of it.
All of it.
Okay.
And then I'll give you.
I've been meaning to watch specifically Force Awakens again because now that I know where it kind of goes, well, I'll probably watch it after that because I just want to know why I liked it so much at the beginning and why I'm kind of drifted off, and I really don't even care to see this new movie. I'm gonna see it, but
right,
I'm
and that's
not,
the thing too. A lot of people have drifted off on Star Wars, and I feel like this is probably for me one of the most exciting times for Star Wars because I feel like now we're getting really good visual effects, like everything about it. I feel like it's the pinnacle at this point. Mm-hmm. I feel like. I don't know. I just feel like these are the best made movies. I mean, that's just a fact. In my opinion. I mean, just on a technical level, the Disney films are just the best made, and that's because they're the newest, but...
I gotta say something that Jake brought up, which is kind of funny to me. He was like, it's kind of a good thing that they waited a week, every week to do this, and then he got to thinking, man, Star Wars comes out on a Thursday, and we're gonna go see it on a Thursday, so if they have The Mandalorian play on a Friday... It's to wash out that bad taste that they expect is going to be left for the movie.
I actually think they're premiering it a day early, actually.
Oh, really?
And at the end of of that episode, there's going to be a sneak peek to Rise of Skywalker.
Really?
I heard, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn. Well, that's weird. I don't like that.
So turn it off right before that, because I don't like when they do that.
I'll have to watch the episode after the movie.
Right.
I'll have to save it till Friday.
So that's that discussion.
Yeah.
Moving on to some trailers here.
Trailers. We haven't done this in a while.
Black Widow.
Can
I give you my thoughts on it?
Yeah, go for
Being
it.
the Marvel aficionado here.
Yeah.
When they announced that there was going to be a Black Widow movie, honestly, I wasn't really that excited.
Yeah, same.
Because her story's done. And if anything, they should have made it a long time ago.
Okay, yeah.
So when I turned on the trailer, I'm like, oh, whatever. That trailer was fucking badass, though, dude.
Oh, yeah?
I loved it. I was like, holy crap. And you know what was weird? Was literally they dropped the trailer out of nowhere. A couple days beforehand, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I even thought to myself, I'm like, man, Black Widow doesn't come out until freaking May. That's a whole year of no Marvel. I'm like an addict, dude. I needed my Marvel fix. I even said that to myself. I'm like, yo, I need something Marvel coming up.
I just miss like having all my friends be interested in going in the movies, but they really aren't.
The Marvel movies?
They wait. They don't really go see anything except for like the Marvel movies, the big movies, and I kind of miss that. I think that's the thing I miss the most about having Marvel movies come out.
Yeah, no, I get you. And but for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need that Marvel baby.
Yeah.
And it's like they waited a whole year, you know, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And when I saw the trailer, I gotta admit, I was impressed. I'll admit, I do think I feel like it should have come out. It is a prequel, and I feel like it should have come out a while ago.
What's even the point now?
Why was I'm sorry, no, not dissing Captain Marvel. I don't want to beat that dead horse, but it's like, why was Captain Marvel their first superheroine film? Mm-hmm. Why was it their first female-led superhero film? They throw us in with this new character that no one really cares about. It's like Black Widow has a history. It's like this film should have come out after Civil War.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like that because it kind of looks like they're keeping the same aesthetic. I don't know, dude. I was hype with that trailer. The music was great. Everything to me looks like really awesome.
It's just... Yeah, I do see your point. It should have came out beforehand because it also would have made everything seem a lot more emotional, I feel like.
Yes.
But yeah, what's the point of this now? Because, like, how is this ever going to come up later on?
Maybe they introduce something within that film that comes up later
That's the only thing I can think of.
You know? And, it's kind of the thing where everyone online loves this trailer. Mm-hmm. I don't want to get political. I'm not even going to say it. Fuck it, I'll say it. Everyone's like, oh, people don't like superheroine films, okay? That's why Charlie's Angels flopped. It was because of men. It's like, no, it's not because of men. It's because of Charlie's Angels being an irrelevant intellectual property. Mm-hmm. No one cares about Charlie's Angels. It's irrelevant. Now, all of a sudden, Black Widow comes out. Everyone loves Black Widow. Men and women. Mm-hmm. You know? Same thing with Wonder Woman. It's like, there are relevant IPs. So, point is, everyone really loves this trailer. The only criticism I've seen about the trailer is that it should have come out before Endgame.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I stand on it.
And that's where it should have come out. But ignoring that, I think that like everything about it looks really cool. David Harbour is the Red Guardian. I'm like, yes. That's sick.
I don't know who that is. But...
Okay, he's like the Russian Captain America.
Yeah.
You know, and I think they're going to play on it where... He was like Captain America for Russia like years back, mm-hmm. and then he kind of like let himself go and got older, and he puts on the old suit again.
Fat for it.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And I loved it. And Taskmaster, dude, yes, finally, it looks so sick, dude. I think the action looks good. I'm excited for it, and I wasn't expecting to be impressed by this trailer. I really wasn't, and I was like, damn, that was sick, dude. And I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's only a teaser, so it's only like a minute long, but they're introducing Yelena Bolivia, I think her name is something like that.
Is that
Bonova? Florence Pugh. Yeah. They're introducing. Oh God, what's her name? Oh my God, Yelena Belova, I think her name is. She in the comics takes up the mantle of Black Widow.
Oh, okay.
In the comic books,
okay.
They're making them like sisters in this movie, quote unquote sisters. And so that's not from the comics.
Now I see why they did this movie afterwards.
Because Phase 4 is all about passing the torch as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like she's going to pass on the Black Widow mantle to her. But, dude, I'm excited. I was impressed by the trailer. I was impressed. And I need that Marvel fix, and this looks hype.
Yeah. I hope the choreography is kind of
like Winter Soldier style. It kind of looks like that from the trailer.
Yeah.
A lot of cinematography kind of looks like that shaky, more down to earth kind of, like that shot where Taskmaster is like fighting Red Guardian, and Red Guardian's just like, let's fucking go, dude. Like I was like, dude, I'm so hyped. It looks so sick. Do you know Taskmaster from the comics at all?
I don't.
Oh, his power is that he has the ultimate photographic memory. So he can observe your fighting style and copy it verbatim.
Yeah, okay, I do remember you talking about it when we heard about this film
mm-hmm.
for the first time. It does sound he does sound kind of cool.
Yeah, right? So, like, he can go toe-to-toe with Captain America just because he knows every move he's going to make because he knows the fighting style.
That's kind of cool.
It is. It is. And in the comics, he has all of, like, the weapons of the Avengers. So he has, like, a bow and arrow for Hawkeye and, like, a shield for Captain America.
Oh, he's the one that's shooting the bow?
The bow, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And this was a really well-edited trailer, and I'm hyped. What about you?
I'll see. I'm definitely going to see it. I'm definitely not as hyped as you. I'm just kind of, I don't know, man.
You don't know?
It looks like it could be fun for sure, but I really, at this point in time, I expect my Marvel movies to have like bigger substance, man. I want it to add to the MCU.
And I get what you're saying because it's like the story's done. Why are we going back to it? But who knows? I think Marvel's smart enough to add something. Like they know. They're probably going to introduce like I don't know, like another MacGuffin.
What's the next type of Infinity Stone out there? What else?
Exactly. Like they're probably going
to.
They're going to introduce something like that. Probably.
That'd be crazy. That'd be nuts.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm excited for it. But resident cynic over here.
Yep. Realistic.
Nah.
I just don't want to disappoint myself.
Cynic. Okay, so speaking of cynics, though.
Okay.
No Time to Die. That was probably one of the most awkwardly edited trailers I've ever seen. In my opinion.
Yeah.
I thought it was... I can't even like judge the movie fully because the trailer was edited so poorly.
I can't really tell what the fuck is like the premise of this film.
Exactly. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And the dialogue is weird.
So they start off kind of like showing the woman that we're led to believe is going to be the next James Bond or whatever, 007.
Yeah.
And then she comes in, and then you see Christoph Waltz, and he's all fucked up and stuff like that, and he's explaining something, and then I basically see that we get like the shots of the next villain, but I don't know what the villain's plan is. I don't know anything. And
I know that it's a teaser, and it's supposed to be like that, which is fine. Like a teaser is supposed to be more like a tonal piece, but even the tone I didn't get. Like to me, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's like the first line of the movie is like, "Why would I betray you? We all have secrets. We just didn't get to yours yet." Like, it's weird. The dialogue, the line delivery is really weird in the trailer. And there's a lot of, like, really elongated pauses between dialogue in the trailer. It's so strange. I thought the trailer was edited so weirdly. And I'm like, it really kind of, like, stumped my enjoyment of it.
Yeah. I can see that. I'm still excited for it because for those movies, that too. But for those movies specifically, I really like that it kind of downplays the action and it becomes kind of like a psychological warfare between the villain and James Bond.
Yeah, that is true. Do you like the fact that this new the Daniel Craig series is not bottle missions per movie? Do you like that there's an overarching story?
Way more.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of like episodic bullshit.
Okay, yeah, because I was literally before we got here, Mr. Sunday at Movies made a video about James Bond, and I was watching it, and him and his co-host said they hate that. Like they want episodic, like they want like mission per mission kind of.
No, I want to be working towards something. I want a goal.
Yeah. I like it either way, but I was nervous when Daniel Craig has been so outspoken about not coming back, and I'm like, are we just gonna leave it on a cliffhanger on Spectre? You know, like what happens, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they're doing one more to like wrap it all up because this is his last one. He said it. It's obvious.
Yeah.
He's been doing this for like 14 years. Isn't that crazy?
He's been doing it for a while. Yeah.
That's crazy. It is. But I'm still excited about the movie because I like Cary Fukunaga. I think he's a great director.
Yeah.
And I think there's substance here. I think that the trailer was edited so bad. Like who edited that trailer?
It's shrouding what it's really about. Maybe that could be a good thing. I don't know. I've always been excited by like the schemes of those movies. They have some really crazy stuff, especially when oh god, what's his name? Skyfall's villain.
Oh, Javier Bardem.
Oh yeah, Javier Bardem.
I love Skyfall.
Skyfall's the best one. Like,
yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, a lot of people say Casino Royale. I love it, but Skyfall is it's the most beautiful James Bond film ever.
Dude, it's so good.
Roger Deakins, dude, so freaking.
Yeah,
good.
that's part of it. Totally.
So what? Quick thoughts. What on your rundown of the Craig films? Like, what do you think? Like, for me, I love Casino Royale. Quantum of Solace was pretty bad. Skyfall, best one. And I actually really like Spectre.
I really like Spectre too.
I think people's criticism of Spectre is a little ridiculous. It's a James Bond film that is too much like a James Bond film. Like, that's what people's criticism of it is.
It's coming out in a weird time. I think James Bond films are going to die out after this. I don't really see them trying to reboot it or whatever and keep tradition alive, because you have stuff like the Mission Impossible films and stuff like that. They're so popular. And those films they're over the top, and the James Bond films really are subdued and contained. And I feel like this this film is getting even weird by having a car with a machine gun attached to it. Like, I feel like that's stretching it.
It's weird. Yeah, they've dialed back on the campy nature of like the Roger Moore and Sean Connery kind of films.
Yeah,
but we're in a time now, and I think with like the Marvel movies and like the craziness and like John Wick and stuff like that, where people are starting to expect really. They're starting to accept really campy action now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't agree with the fact that they're going to stop it. I think James Bond is still a money machine, and I think they're going to milk the shit out of it, like until it's dry. And then I honestly think that the new series after Craig is going to go campy again, and I'm excited for that if they do that.
Yeah.
But for this series, I'm excited for the final chapter. I do like Rami Malek. I like his look.
Oh yeah.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Fuck, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I'm still excited for it. I just think I remember the first thing I said when I watched that trailer was like, what intern edited this thing? Like, what unpaid intern edited this thing? Because like, holy crap, what was that? Like, that was so bad. Hopefully the next trailer can really get me. But I'm still excited to see it though.
Yeah. I honestly think I'm more excited to see that than I am for Black Widow. Personally.
Oh boy. Resident cynic over here, fellas. No, I'm just joking. This last trailer I just want to talk about briefly. Free Guy, starring Ryan Reynolds. You saw it, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing that really just kind of interested me about it. Sean Levy's directing it. He's like the other half of Stranger Things. Mm-hmm. And he did Real Steel, which I think is an underrated movie. And I think it's really cool that they're doing like a big budget original film. Like that's something that's really made me go like, wow, that's awesome. Like they're doing a big budget original concept, and I'm like, that's something you don't. And I'm not a guy who just scoffs at adaptations or reboots or remakes, but it is refreshing to see an original film.
Oh yeah.
You know, especially a big budget original film.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty fun.
Yeah.
But I really just don't get the premise. Like he lives in a video game world.
Yeah, he's an
unbeknownst
NPC.
to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he's an NPC that becomes a PC. Like, it doesn't really.
Yeah.
But who's playing him?
Himself, his AI. I honestly think that that's what Taika Waititi's character is. Like when he's in the office, he's like, I like to break rules or whatever.
Yeah.
I think he's like the developer who like put in like this program to do that. I think that's what it is. Okay. If I had to guess. I'm just really happy to see a big budget original film. And I feel bad for Sean Levy because did you know when Disney bought Fox, you know they canceled over 200 films? They canceled 9 of his films.
Really?
Yeah. Fuck. He was the director who got hit the most. 9 of his films got canned. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I feel really bad about that.
They're helping him out. They're throwing him a bone.
Yeah, but here's another funny thing. When it's in the beginning, when it says, from the studio that brought you Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, twice. I was like, was this a Disney film? No, it's under the Fox banner. Like, they're releasing it under the... Like, it was on 20th Century Fox's banner.
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
you got Ryan Reynolds. You're going for that Deadpool humor, too.
Yeah, exactly. When he's, like, all bloodied in the face, and then when he's like, is that a Glock in your pocket? No, it's 2 Glocks. And she goes like that, and he goes, oh! You know? I was like, I don't think this is Disney. And then I looked at the YouTube channel, and it was under Fox. And I'm like, okay, yeah, they're doing the whole cross-branding thing, which I guess would make sense if Disney...
that's like them protecting themselves.
Exactly.
Just in case.
Whenever they want to do like an R-rated film, they're going to put that under the Fox banner.
Yeah.
Which is smart.
It's a scapegoat.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what time we're at now, but you want to quickly talk about some reviews?
Yeah.
I've actually seen quite a couple movies.
Okay.
Let's talk about You want to talk about Knives Out?
Yeah, let's talk about Knives Out. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I think I liked it more than you, though.
Probably.
And but I can totally get, though. I totally get your criticisms of it.
Yeah.
It's again
too
going
revealing.
going back to Rian Johnson. I think it is a little too revealing, but I kind of liked that though, because I feel like again he plays with your expectations, where it's like there's a scene, not to spoil it, in the first 30 minutes of this movie that in any normal whodunit would be at the very end.
Yep.
And for me, I thought at first, I admit, I didn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's a horrible decision. They just ruined this movie. Literally, that was the first thing I said.
Yeah.
And, but it kept going and going, and there was more to it. And then I started to kind of come around to it, and I'm like, this movie is a whodunit that becomes a reverse whodunit. And I'm like, where you know who did it, but then you're trying to, like, protect that person. And I'm like,
that's what I didn't like. I don't like the way it shifts gears after that scene, and it's like, this needs to be a cover up, and it's like it almost becomes like a thriller, like, oh, I hope, like a comedic thriller where like I hope this information doesn't come to light or whatever, and it's like it makes you shut your brain off until like the very end before they reveal it, and it's like this isn't a puzzle anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't like about it. I like logic in these movies, and especially since you have such a strong opening where you have all these testimonies. You see everybody's like what happened during that night, and everybody's take is completely different.
And it's really fun trying to figure it out. Like,
yeah,
you know.
And you got all these motives floating in the air, and then it's just like, well, actually, don't even think about that right now, because for like the next like hour, you're not even going to use your brain. It's like, okay, cool.
For me, it was more like I still enjoyed the ride because I enjoyed the puzzle, but I always still felt like after that reveal there was more to it.
Yes, that same.
I always felt that.
The donut hole.
The donut hole. Within the donut hole.
Yeah.
I always felt that there was still more to it, so it still kept me thinking. I'm like, there's no way that this is what actually happened.
That's part of the reason why I think I want to rewatch it, is because I feel like there's a very obvious like hole there.
Do you think so?
I feel like there is. It's just something's missing.
Maybe. I think they sealed it up pretty well, but like for me, I will admit though, as soon as I figured out, like as soon as I said that, I'm like, there's more to this story. This didn't happen this way, like exactly. Mm-hmm. I came up with a theory in my head, and that theory was mostly true. I'll tell you, I'll just use a word. I figured someone switched something. And I'm like, this person switched this. And that's exactly what happened. Mm-hmm. There was a little bit of like, yes, they did switch it, but then this happened, which is different. And I'm like, okay, they changed it up a little bit. But overall, I still predicted the gist of it. But that being said, it was still an entertaining movie, and I was never bored. And the performances are great.
That's why I want to like the film more than I do, is because I did like enjoy it, even though I wasn't like laughing like everybody else when I saw it. Mm-hmm. Every scene, and I'm like, really? Like it was chuckle worthy maybe. I just felt like an outcast.
Yeah. No, I got you. I didn't laugh out loud, but I did laugh at a couple scenes, especially Daniel Craig. He's so fucking
Daniel
good.
Craig is a goon. He's like my favorite character.
And that's another thing that kind of goes against expectation. He's a little incompetent, and like I love that about him.
But he's like also like not, and that's like something that I wanted to explore. There's like at the beginning of the movie, I don't really want to talk about it too much, but he pushes the piano every time he does. I really wanted to know if he was doing it based on a lie. Mm-hmm. Like he heard a bit of information, he was like, no, that's not true. Yeah. I really wanted to explore that because it shows, I guess, his thinking process or whatever. And there's one thing that was said during that like those scenes that I really wanted to know like what was going on with that. Mm-hmm. So we can talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, I can't explain it here, but I get what you're saying. I did love this cast is amazing.
The cast is amazing.
It's so good. I will admit though, I like Lakeith Stanfield. I don't think he's got a lot of range though, and this just kind of proved it for me. He kind of just like has like that one tone of voice throughout the whole thing, and I'm like, all right. But overall, everyone else I thought was really good. Ana de Armas, dude, I love her.
Yeah, I love her too. Her acting, I think, is honestly like the best in the movie.
Her innocence, like she's the only likable character in like the whole thing, like her and Daniel Craig. And I'm just like, gosh, I like she's like so good. Like she just Oh, she's so
so
good.
pure.
She's so pure, and I love that about her.
Yeah.
There was one thing. It didn't necessarily bother me, but I thought it was a little useless. The whole like forced political thing. Like, he doesn't take a side, but you get people arguing over politics and all that. Like, you're an alt-right troll, but you're a liberal snowflake. It's like, why is this here? Like, people have talked about studio mandating that there be some type of social commentary. That's kind of what this felt like. And Rian Johnson was like, well, I got to add this somehow in there. Because he never takes a side. It's just people arguing.
Well, yeah, they're all completely different people. And they don't, it's like, I think a way to show, like, divisiveness between them.
That's true.
And yeah, true. They all suck.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the thing. Everyone is a horrible fucking person.
Yeah, terrible.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Like, you hate this family. Like, they're terrible. And what's funny is a lot of, from what I hear, because I haven't seen too many whodunits, the person who usually dies is like someone who's so terrible that everyone hates them.
It gives, yeah.
But this is kind of the reverse of that, where it's like Christopher Plummer is actually like a really good guy, but everyone else is the asshole, and I like that.
Yeah, but they all have reason to.
Hate him. Obviously.
Their own selfish reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to like the movie a little bit more. I thought it was
You liked it, but you didn't.
But I didn't love it like I really was hoping for.
Because you're a huge whodunit fan.
I'm a huge fucking whodunit fan.
And Clue is a fucking amazing movie.
Clue is an amazing movie.
I love
that movie.
Clue.
I actually watched it the night afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it on Letterboxd. That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah. Love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Although that isn't even really like a great... I wouldn't say that that's as logical of a whodunit movie. That's just like a really fun movie.
It's a fun comedy, yeah.
I mean, it kind of gets you to pay attention to like who's there in the frame during what moment and stuff like that.
Oh, dude, Mr. Green's he's the best.
Dude, he's so good.
He's the best. Anyone want to come up to my room? Yes, no, thank you.
No.
So good.
Dude, I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife. That's like such a good line.
That's the best ending too. Like,
honestly, I wish that was the one that was played out more.
Yeah.
Like I think it needs to be fleshed out. I think I like the idea of having like multiple endings, but they needed to like really like push the one and just like I wanted way more effort into it.
Okay, yeah.
And then maybe make the other ones like deleted scenes or whatever.
Yeah, maybe like one of them is kind of like the true ending, and the other ones are just the endings you can.
The second ending is not like it's not that great.
Right. That's a really cool way to get around a whodunit, though. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Knives Out, I think I liked it more than you. This has not been a great year for movies for me.
Yep.
It's definitely picked up in the later half of the year, in this last month, but this is probably in my top 10. I will say I did enjoy it a lot. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
I give it a low 7.
A low 7, 11. Okay.
Yeah, you got something else?
Yes, I saw A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
How was it?
It was actually pretty good. If you're expecting a birth, life, death biopic about Mr. Rogers, this is not that at all. As a matter of fact, Mr. Rogers is not like in it that much. It actually follows the story of a journalist who interviews Mr. Rogers, and this journalist has like kind of like this really tumultuous relationship with life and his family and stuff like that. And the movie isn't necessarily about Mr. Rogers. It's about what effect Mr. Rogers has on us and has on people. And we see life through the eyes of this guy, and how Mr. Rogers' kindness and philosophy kind of changes him. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a really cool take. Also, the movie is a lot more stylistic than I was expecting.
Really?
Like the transition shots of, because he's a journalist, so he flies to different cities and stuff.
Yeah.
Every time he flies to a different city, it's a Mr. Rogers set, where it's like the cardboard set, and there's like a little plane on a string, or like a little plane on like a stick that's like,
I see
it goes from like Pittsburgh to like New York or whatever.
Yeah, I like that.
It was a really cool transition, and there's almost like an almost trippy dream sequence, like where I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's like a trippy sequence in it almost where this guy is sort of the journalist is having like this breakdown, and it almost becomes like trippy and like crazy, but it's really cool and stylistic, and I will admit it did make me tear up. I will admit.
Okay.
And I'm glad this wasn't just like a from birth to death biopic. I'm glad, because I'm not a huge fan of biopics. This wasn't even a biopic at all. It's just about the effect Mr. Rogers had on this journalist, and and Mr. Rogers kind of helps him with his relationship with his family and stuff like that, and it was really good. I gave that 4 out of 5 as well. I don't know what's keeping me from giving it a 5 exactly, and I don't know what's keeping me from giving it a 5.
Sometimes it's just that feeling.
But it's just that feeling. I gave it a 4 out of 5 for sure. It was really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
and Tom Hanks' performances, Oscar worthy.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Mm-hmm. So it does have a place in the movie realm, even though the documentary exists.
Exactly. This isn't like an RGB thing or a RBG thing where it's like the same exact. You're seeing the same thing twice. This is not that at all, and that I really appreciated that.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah, you should. It's really good.
Because I love Mr. Rogers.
Heck yeah.
And that's it?
That's it. I mean, I did see Marriage Story as well, which was really good. And it's like a really, really real reflection about divorce. It's on Netflix right now by Noah Baumbach. These 3 films I'm talking about right now are in my top 10 of the year.
Wow.
They're really good.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's been a good end of the year. If only the rest of the year could have this energy.
Yeah.
I feel like we're reaching our time limit, so I'll just say it real fast. It's a really good, really real portrayal about divorce, and it's kind of sad and tragic, but heartwarming at the same time in certain ways. It's a very bittersweet film. And but it's very real. So if you're expecting like a Hollywood love story, this is not that. This is a very real story about divorce, and the performances from Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson are amazing.
I'll have to check that out.
Yes.
I don't really have anything, so.
Oh, you don't have anything?
Yeah.
All right, I think that's pretty much it for us.
Yeah, I think so.
For us, all right, I got something.
What's up?
We talked about No Time to Die, right?
Okay.
You know what his favorite drink is, right?
Yeah.
It's a vodka martini, shaken, not